Hi y'all, it's Kimberly here. Good morning. Well, uh, today I went to McDonald's to get a biscuit, sausage biscuit. I love biscuits. I love their biscuits. And they were out of biscuits. I don't know what's going on with McDonald's here. They're out of mayonnaise yesterday for my chicken sandwich, out of my biscuit, and today, and I think sometime last week they were out of like grape jelly. It's just all the time they're out of something. But the delivery truck was there when I was there, so maybe they're getting stuff. But I don't eat at McDonald's 24/7. You almost think I do, but I don't. Sometimes I just want to go get something real fast, and every once in a while I do eat there, but not all the time. And today it's starting to rain right now. It's still kind of like overcast, and it was like 65 degrees earlier, and it's almost lunchtime. And yeah, the clouds are moving. I think we're going to get a little bit more rain today. I think for the whole week we're supposed to get rain, and it's going to be in the 70s and 80s, like the mid 80s and below. I think all the way to like Sunday. On Sunday I think it's going to get a little bit warmer with a little less chance of rain, and the rain chances for every day this week are like 50 to 60 something % chance of rain. So, and it rained last night. Not as bad. I mean, there's no flooding or anything like that. Just really steady rain, not heavy downpours like the flood we had a while back. But well, I was going to talk about the fourth stimulus check possibility of one. There's still a possibility of that, but Congress is fixing to go on their 4th of July recess, which I think that one's going to be quite long. I think it's going to be like a week or two. I'm not really sure. I didn't check the date on it, but they usually have a pretty long 4th of July recess. And Dennis, sorry, that was my tick. It was really big, golly. I haven't had one like that for a long time. The Democrats are wanting a supersized version of the family plan that President Biden has put together. I think they're going to probably fast track it because I think they're waiting on so much bipartisan support, which they're not going to get, And actually his infrastructure plan has been separated. It's been divided up, and some things have been left out of it, which is going to be probably the stimulus checks. I doubt they're not going to be included. A lot of stuff is not going to be included, and that's kind of like to compromise with the Republican Congress. And there's just no Republican support for a stimulus package. It's all going towards the infrastructure, which is a huge necessity. The country needs a lot of work on just roads, bridges, all kinds of stuff. And it's that's I think the point where Republicans were the most agreeable on was just the infrastructure plan. They wanted a bunch of the other things to be taken out, like the stimulus checks and some other that they thought were like kind of frivolous. Although, I mean, it's things that need to be done to help support the American economy and American citizens themselves. And putting people back to work is, a huge part of it. But there's, a big issue going on now that a lot of people aren't going back to work. They don't want to work for lower wages. They've had this time off to think and reflect about, I've been working this crappy job for low pay, and even though they were getting the unemployment checks and it's been cut off, they're still not wanting to go back to these lower paying jobs. So a lot of these industries are being forced, to hike up their pay like $2 or $3 an hour, and that's still not working all that good. There's a little bit of, people looking for some of the people who are working for very low pay are starting to take those jobs. But the people who are working, just at the level of not quite minimum wage, but in between, they felt like they were being, not paid their worth, which they weren't. And they're looking for even better jobs. They're going into higher paying fields that are more something that they are able to get access to, because a lot of those people are not coming back to work either. They want to stay at home, work from home, or they want better pay too. They want better benefits. So it's just a kind of like I guess a ladder system where the people, each person is going up each a little bit, a little bit further on the rungs of better pay, better benefits, or whatever is suitable to them. So it's sort of working out a little bit, but there's still not enough people going back to work, and a lot of businesses, especially the restaurant industry, is really being hit hard this way. But this sounds harsh, but they kind of had it coming to them because of the low pay, and a lot of like grocery stores and other places where a lot of people were being exposed to the public, and they're not being compensated very well. And especially through any congressional act that would have given them some kind of frontline pay, these payments that were being talked about at the beginning of the pandemic, like 10 or 15, I even heard some estimates of $20,000 checks or something like that for people who were working straight through the pandemic or a certain amount of months. None of that happened. And I was one of those people. I worked for DoorDash, and I did it for months, from the beginning of the pandemic to several months, until it just, I actually thought about doing it again, maybe today or the next few days or week, until if I do find something else. It's a little, it was dangerous for us to be out there, to be exposing ourselves to this, and we didn't really know what the virus was really, and it was kind of scary, with how many people were passing away, expiring from this virus, and then we're people on the front line, people in these jobs that are, having so much contact with the public. It was a risk to our health and to our life. So a lot of people still don't feel comfortable going back to work, especially with the new variant that's coming around. It could be a second wave of shutdowns, or a second wave of, of a pandemic, or actually I think would be considered like the third wave. I don't even know. There was the huge first wave that came through, and then I think there was a little bit of a lull, and then there was another spike that was really big. But since a lot of people being vaccinated, the numbers have gone down a little bit. But with the new variant coming in, we don't even know if this vaccination program is going to work with the new variant. It's just kind of up in the air. People are at risk still, especially ones who haven't been vaccinated. And plus, the ones who've been vaccinated, is it going to work against this new variant? And there's several other variants also, not just, I'm talking about the one that was from India, I believe. But there's other little mutations and variants that they're talking about anyway. But this, Biden hasn't really said outright anything about a fourth stimulus check, which I think is kind of telling that he really doesn't maybe want to push through a stimulus check unless it's absolutely necessary. I think unless a lot of other factors come in that would warrant, really needing a large stimulus check. And the $2,000 check that a lot of people say that he promised, that there's a lot of people who think that he did not deliver the promise of a $2,000 stimulus check, although he did push through the $1,400 check to be added onto the $600 check, which adds up to $2,000. Some people were counting that as the $2,000 check, and then there's the other side that said that's not a $2,000 check like he promised. So it's kind of, there's been a lot of back and forth on that, on which way people believe. And he said he's open to proposals. He's listened to, a myriad of different proposals of like just a $2,000 check, or a $2,000 check plus $1,000 checks, added recurring checks, or different amounts for a separate stimulus check, and then a fifth or a sixth stimulus check, or months apart, or something like that. There's so many different proposals. I'm not going to go through them all. That's just kind of the variation of them that's been going around. And I think he's leaning more back to trying to get people back to work, which, that's necessary, but it's, again, just what I just talked about, the low pay, the risk, and increased benefits. There's things that are going to have to be dealt with to really draw back every single American who was working before to get them to work. And 80 members of Congress have written letters so far about recurring checks or stimulus checks. And 7 members of the House Ways and Means Committee has really been pushing for more regular checks. I don't know if that's really recurring checks or if they mean just several regularly spaced stimulus checks. So I don't know. I'm not real sure what that is. But there's been 2.4 million people who've signed an online petition for the $2,000 stimulus checks and the $1,000 a month recurring check. So there's a lot of support from that. And there's also support in the Democrat Congress that they support that exact same plan. And this, I think it's $1.2 trillion plan that he has. So that's been divided up. So the possibility of a fourth stimulus check would have to be pushed through separately. And it's probably going to be grouped in with a bunch of other things also. So there's going to be, who knows how much time that's going to take and how much more arguing, but it's not going to be, I absolutely believe that it's not going to be attached to this infrastructure bill at all. I think that's the huge point that Republicans are, blocking, is that another stimulus check. They just don't want to send out any more money. Bernie Sanders has been the biggest champion of these stimulus checks or any kind of recurring payment. And he's been, I kind of was, when he dropped out of the presidential race, I was like, why did he do that? I really thought he was on a roll, and I thought he was really getting a lot of support with these ideas that he had, and the way he was infusing people with a lot of, I'm not going to say anger, but a lot of angst about, the low pay and the difference between, the wage inequality and the wealth inequality. Wealth, distribution in this country is just completely lopsided. And he was really, really adamant about the 1% that don't pay taxes, which is a big point with me. That, when somebody's a millionaire or a billionaire and they don't pay any taxes, that just burns me up. And there's so many wealthy people like that get away with this, even though it's legal and they take illegal deductions. It blows my mind. What for? So they can be super rich just for that reason alone? Because if they were to pay taxes, yeah, it would take a big chunk out of their money, but I'm a little lost for words when it comes to this subject. This subject just, it just burns me up. And, why do you need to be a trillionaire? I can see somebody, I have nothing wrong with, being your best and getting, your dream and the American dream and getting everything and even being a millionaire or something like that. You know, those are high aspirations, and good luck to you if you have them. But when you just want to be a billionaire or a trillionaire and don't want to pay taxes in America, that's just damn greedy. And there's no rationale for that at all. And especially if you own a company like Amazon, where people are peeing in bottles because you don't want to give them a bathroom break. That's insane. You know, these drivers that were having to pee in the bottles because they were being driven so hard that they had to make their, I mean, just do so much work and do constant stops. And if you've ever seen these delivery drivers, I mean, they just put the package on the porch, throw it, kick it on the porch, and sometimes they knock, sometimes they don't, and they're gone. It takes them less than a few seconds sometimes to deliver a package, and they're under so much pressure to work like that. And for them to be driven to the point where they can't even take a bathroom break, you know, and they have to, I mean, really use a bottle. First off, that's kind of unsanitary. It's disgusting, you know. It's just unbelievable how some people can't grip that idea that that's okay. Oh, let's, I mean, I don't understand the thinking between not understanding how much money that is. That is a huge amount of money that is not being collected in taxes, but yet people want to vote or have an idea that that's okay for them to do that, and then but yet they complain about high taxes for themselves. Okay, that's part of the issue of if these trillions of dollars of taxes are not being collected, yes, it's going to come out on the end where the middle class and the lower income people are going to still pay taxes and pay more taxes. I don't understand how some people can be okay with that. Or do they not understand the math? It's simple math, you know. If you collect more taxes from this, and it's in the trillions of dollars of taxes are not being collected from these people. And that can alleviate a lot of taxes on the middle class and the poor. And I don't know. I think there's a gap there where I don't know if people don't understand that part, or what do they not get about it? I don't know. Okay. I've griped enough about that, but okay. Thank you, and I'll make another video soon.